Okay, so we're just gonna do a few noses here. Good way to get started is just do stop cut, relief cut, and it's good practice. These little 2x2s, 2x2, about 6 inches long. You can get them 12 inches long. Blocks of wood are extremely good to practice on. I enjoy getting me a few of them and doing different things. So what we're doing is just stop cut, relief cut, guys. And practicing on our making clean cuts and practicing on noses, and we'll do some eyes. So basically that's what it looks like. Stop cut, relief cut, and what I like to do is take these edges back towards the end of the stop cut right there. So we'll go back and take these edges off. And you know, I was talking to someone the other day and talking about facial features and expressions and everything, and it's like, well, you know, if it looks like a nose, it is a nose. If it looks like an eye, it looks, you know, it is an eye. So, you know, trying to get, you know, your basics down. If it looks like a nose and looks like an eye, then it is one. And just come back down, and you can determine how long you want your nose, and how wide you want it, you know, and you just have to play around with it. But this is a good, easy nose for everyone, especially the beginners out there who's wanting to do some videos for you guys. So that's what that looks like. And do is, you know, you got your center of your nose. So from the center to the edges of our nose right here, we will come down on both sides and make our nose, cut our nose in there with our knife, and you just follow that line back up and stop cut, relief cut on both sides. So we'll flip this over a little bit. So it's going to be, did the stop cut, you know, another stop cut, and the relief cut is from corner to corner. It just takes practice. Just pop that big chip out. And clean cuts are very nice to have, but they also take practice. Okay, just like so. You can see that you have your nose cut in now in the bridge of your nose, and you come back in and soften these hard lines. The tip of your knife, let's go way back up. So over here, you're gonna do the same thing from the bottom up. Come back in, little chip cut, and you got your nose. Okay, easy peasy, right? And kind of clean up these lines. Get that pencil line off there, and kind of come down tip of the nose. You can shape it and form it whatever you want. Let's see if I can get this cleaned up, because that looks absolutely terrible. And if that is the case, then you just recut, go back to through the same steps, process, and clean it up that way. And that looks a lot better. So there's your nose, right? And what I used to do when I first started carving was you take a pencil and you just put a dot for your eye on both sides. And that used to be my face, and that worked, and I was happy with that. So that's the basic nose that everyone usually starts out with. That's what I started out with, and you just, you know, follow your line, stop cut, relief cut. You got 1 and 2, and relief cut is 3. And come down some more. Same process. Stop cut, relief cut. take these hard lines off a little bit. So you got, basically you got where your eye sockets are gonna go. Come back in the corner, like that, clean it up. And so you determine how long you want your nose and how wide you want it. So, you know, right there's fine. You know, just come in with stop cut, relief cut. And I wanted to show you another way. I'll take a small number 11, and I'll show you how to get that bridge of the nose out with a U-gouge. What I do is come back, kind of flatten out that hard line a little bit back up to the outer edges of where the eyes are going to be. And Steve Brown showed me this at one of the Renegades one year. What you do is you take your number 11 and come down. What I believe he showed me, just come down about halfway and determine how wide you want your bridge of your nose to be. So you take your pencil, and of course you have your center line, and you come on the outside and about halfway. You take that number 11, you place it right there, and then where the eye socket's gonna be, you do a stop and relief cut. Now you do that on both sides. You come down a little bit and determine how thick you want your nose, the bridge of your nose going to be. Halfway, come back up. Then you got two slight little horns poking out at you. You take your knife, stop cut, relief cut. And you see you have a trough there, or a gouge mark, obviously. Okay, you flip this over, come back over, leaf cut that. So you take, and what I like to do is kind of smooth that line. So from the corner to where the edge of that gouge mark left off at, you just want to clean it up, come back in there just like so. Okay, and you can deepen that and get that bridge of your nose out a little bit more when you go back in and recut it with the gouge. Repeat process. Okay, now for your wings of your nose, what I like to do is show you, you can take your block of wood here and kind of angle it and get a read on what you want. So from the bottom of the corner of the nose right here, you want to come up halfway and just make a line just like so. Okay, now you can do this all in one cut, all in one go, because what we're really going to do is this right here and make the, you know, wing of the nose, and then your nostrils coming in. So you can determine how small you want this, or if you want to come up a little bit more and make this a little bit more thicker or smaller, or kind of do a little design in his nose or whatever. You can do whatever you want. It's a lot easier if you just go ahead and remove this pencil line with your knife, because I was trying to do with my eraser. So anyway, what we're going to do is step by step. All right, so you come out a little ways from the corner of your nose, because we're going to make a chip cut here. So you just follow your line, place your knife blade, kind of wiggle it back and forth. Don't go side to side. Just rock that blade like this to get it deeper and deeper. Be careful and take your time. Beginners, until you get comfortable with it, just take it and put your thumb right here and place your blade right so, and just a little bit at a time put that blade in there. Okay, so you got your stop cut or your stab cut. And what I like to do is take a triangle cut. It doesn't have to be big. From where the end of the nose is right here. You can take a triangle cut all the way. I'm gonna take all this out, okay? So we're gonna have to, one is the first cut we made. The second one is right here. The third one is a slicing relief cut is what I like to call it. So you have your stop cut, and up to your other cut, just like so. And if you wanna go deeper, you can just recut it like that. All right, now come in with your wing of your nose. And come up above it, make a small arcing line like so for your wing of your nose. And I'm gonna follow this with the tip of my knife. And I'll show you another way of doing this here in just a minute. Come up, cut up under it, relief cut, and there you go. There's your wing of your nose. And then usually the bridge of the nose, you just want to follow that line, however thick the nose is going to be, and up under there you just make a line straight down both sides. And then you want to kind of just shape and form, maybe round off that hard edge a little bit with your knife. Come in there, and from underneath the nose you want to make this cut here, so kind of another half moon shape from the tip of your nose to the other side of that line that we made. You can either go in like this, up under. Let me see if I can get this focus, and then make a stop cut right there. Where your line's at. I'm gonna flip it so I can cut this out. Cup up under there, from cut to point basically. Come up under there, recut it if it's not deep enough. Slice and cut. You have your nostril. Same thing. You come back over here. You can try to match it the best you can from the corner of the nose there. Come up halfway, make your line just like so. Follow your line, knife right on it, stab it. What we're gonna do is again make a chip cut right out of this area here. So this area right here is going to be gone. Another relief cut. Excuse me, another stop cut, push cut, and then up under there, following until we get to this stop cut over here. We're going to slicing motion and come right out with it. And that's going to give you your starting of your smile line. Relief cut it up under. And same thing. With your nostrils, follow that line, stab it halfway down. And again, you're doing this. You're just coming on the bottom end of your nose and doing a half moon shape from tip to tip. Like that, like so, okay? And relieving it. Do a stop cut. And another stop cut. And then follow your line around. And then you got your nostril again. And then follow your line up here halfway, like another half moon shape. And this is where you gotta be careful, because you see this one's higher than this one. So I'm gonna erase that with my knife. Come back down. Try to match it. And your thumb is your brace. And you just follow your line back around like so, cut up under there, and you have it. Okay. And again, you can take that number 11 and deepen it Again, if it's not deep enough, if you want that bridge to stand out a little bit more, you can come back in there with several cuts, back up to the eye socket, and relieve it with your knife, and just come back and do repeat process. Back up to the corner and just get rid of that hard line, and it deepens your eye socket even more. Okay, same thing on the other side. Relief cut it, back up to it. Take that center line out. There you go. Okay, now with another example using some gouges, what I like to do is come down, make a stop cut, and relief cut it several times. I guess we could try to make this one a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. Okay, same thing, like take the edges off, follow it back to my corners my eyes are going to be. And again, what we'll do is, instead of using the gouge, I'll put that up and I'll show you how to do it with a knife. So the same process, and determine how long you want the nose. About right there is fine. So another stop cut, relief cut. Come back under the nose, determine how wide you want it, and then take this mouth that's protruding out and just tuck that up under the nose a little bit, and smooth it out, flatten it out a little bit. All right, so we have our center line for our nose. So what we're going to do is come across, determine how wide we want it, and come down halfway. Same process. Take our knife, do a stop cut on both sides, just like we did with the very first one, and come down halfway from where that pencil line ends, and kind of just roll it back up into the eye socket and relief cut it, and repeat the process until that starts protruding out, and you take your tip of your knife and kind of dip down and curve it back in there to get some depth. Just play with your tools, play with your knives. Same thing on the other side. Try to make this a little bit bigger nose, wider nose. Come back down, push up in there, just like so. All right, and try to take this hard edge off a little bit and kind of angle these nose back a little bit. So just take that like that, angle it back a little bit like that, come up under, recut it, make sure it looks right, make sure we get it even on both sides. Okay, so you take your number 8 or a number 7. In this case, we'll just use a number 7. This is by Drake. And for the ends of the wings of the nose, from where it stopped, you can take it and push cut to right here. So this is what we're going to do. That number 7 is kind of a half moon shape as well. So where the nose ends, is where we're going to push in at. But right before it is where we're going to start pushing, and kind of roll that back in, just like so. And have a cut, and you come back across, up under it, relief cut, slicing motion, and it gives you your outside of your nose. And you can do this on both sides, and you can get them pretty well the same on both sides. Just come back in, and you can do the tip as well, like that, kind of round the tip a little bit, and just try to flip your drake over and hold it. Instead of like gouging it like this, you're going to be doing another cut. It's different. You just hold it different. So hold it on its side like that to where the end of the nose, and then you come back in, and from where that line left off from right here, you come across like so. And I like to cut this in with my knife, but you can also just take your, and when you get done that, you can just rotate it like so. Rotate it. It gives you your nostril. You can come back and relief cut that. It gives you a nice round profile of your nose. If it doesn't come out the way it needs to, you can go back in there with a knife and cut it in. So you got two different shapes of noses here, because this one was a chip cut out, and you can take this and do that same thing with that smile line coming down. You can remove some wood. So with smile lines, you can have it coming out, you know, way out here like so, or you can come straight down, or you can, you know, you can play with it and have them coming down kind of like so, like that, and having some different expression in there. But anyway, that's just for fun. You can practice and get different expressions. I'll take this number 3 and erase my pencil line that I made, so we can keep on going. But these blocks of practice blocks of wood are great to do this. You can get your nose and your eyes down pretty good. Take that center line out. Just kind of manipulate it a little bit, play with it, clean it up, make it look better and whatnot. It just takes practice to get these cuts clean. Shape your nose. Recut everything. Deepen everything. Clean up everything. All right, so you can also take that same number 7, come up under there. In between the wing of the nose and the middle of the nose is where this gouge goes. And right on top is where I like to, right on the edge, you come down, press in. Okay, same on both sides. You take your knife, relieve these cuts. And you have your nostrils coming in. Okay. You can just deepen these areas with your knife or your gouge. Just showing you different ways of cutting that eye. socket in there and getting that bridge of your nose exposed. Same thing. And very sharp tools help you with clean cuts as well, cleaning it up. So your smile line, you know, determine wherever you want that, but if you just want to come down straight down on both sides, will determine where, you know, rest of your face is going to be. And what I do is come in and follow from the wing of the nose, so where this curves around, and just follow it all in one go if you want to, just like so. Stop cut, and like we did up here, we're going to take a small triangle out right under there in the corner of the nose. Just like so. And you can come down further and take a bigger chunk out and slice back up to it. Corner of the nose, wiggle that blade, take a chip cut, slice back to it. I don't think I cut this one in too good, so I'm going to redo it with a knife. Cut that in. Okay. Just follow that cut up under. Just like so. So you got your basic nose and a little bit more cuts on this one. You can use your gouges and your knives on this one. You can do it all with a knife. It's just different ways of getting your nose, trying to get your nose so the same sizes, the same cuts on both sides. Makes it, you know, look a lot better. So come back down to here. Stop cut, relief cut. Taking these hard edges back to the corners. Come back under there. And deepen it. Angle that sides of the nose. Got your center line. And you're going to come down halfway like we did up top. Determine how thick you want your nose. And then I'm going to do one stop cut. And then two, another stop cut, and then cut back up to it halfway. Three, get your eye socket back to your eye socket. Same thing over here. One, two, and then three. Have control of your knife when you do these cuts. Take your time. And if you need that bridge of your nose protruding out a little bit more, just recut it. And if you want to take and make a round nose, you come back in here, and I'm going to take that number 11 and deepen the bridge of the nose a good bit. stop cut, relief cut. Stick your blade down there. And sometimes the grain of the wood doesn't work with you. Most of the time, basswood is pretty easy to use. So what I like to do is start scooping this nose out a little bit from where we left those middle, when they'll come down middle ways, where we left those cuts out. From there, and just start scooping that rolling cut like that. So it's like turning your blade up. So it's the end of your blade, not going all the way up toward the bridge, all the way up to the, you know, where the base of the forehead's at, or where the eye sockets are at. Just kind of dip that down, in and out real fast, protruding this part of the nose. Come back in there, clean that out best we can. All right, taking our number 7 and coming around. Trying to make a ball-like shaped nose. You can come the center and push, kind of place that and round that off with the number 7. You can also do it with your knife. Come back over here. I just want to round that off, clean it up the best I can. That gives you kind of a ball-like shape, a rounder nose. And just take your knife and start forming it, rounding it off. Still knowing where the smile line is going to be at. Just rounding it off and just dip that down in there to get that shape we want. It's a good Santa Claus nose. Just round it. Good character nose. So where our number 7 stop cut relief cuts ended, we're going to come down and make a small triangle cut right there at the end of the nose. I got 1, 2, a small relief cut, and that's 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Come back around. A small little arcing cut. Go under, just like so. So these are just different ways to get your noses out, from starting from the very basic form of a design that, you know, what a nose looks like, cutting that out, and then just expanding on your basics is really is where it's at. It's getting the foundation and the basics down first. So you just want to come down, follow that smile line, come back up to it, round that off right there. It gives you kind of a rounder nose, tucks that bridge back up into the where the eye sockets are at a little bit more, so that forehead protrudes out a little bit more, but you can manipulate it and cut it where you want it. So yeah, and you take your number 7, place it just under there, in between the corner and the end of the nose, in the middle of the nose. Stop cut, relief cut, clean that out. There you go. Same thing on the other side. And just clean those wings of your nose out by just recutting it, shaping it, and just have fun playing with it, guys. That's the basis of basics of a nose, is just a couple of stop cut and relief cuts, and just start shaping and forming whatever you want it to look like. And again, just come down. You can play with the smile lines. Back in there, stop cut, relief cut, fall right out. Just come back around, cut up under, and just clean it the best you can. And so basically you have a way of getting different shapes of faces, you know, all your smile lines or expressions, not shapes of faces, excuse me, expressions of faces, just by your smile lines and your eyebrows and your eyes and different stuff like that. So just wanted to show you guys from, you know, something like that to just the progression of things, or progression of steps, more or less. So basically all it is you have, we'll go over it one more time, is stop cut, relief cut, stop cut, relief cut. And however wide you want your nose, however thin you want your nose, or however, if you want it protruding way out here, and if you don't, you can cut it back. You can shape and form the nose, your bridges of your nose. It's totally left up to you on how thick or thin you want it. Just come back in here. I like to come down halfway and roll that cut back up. Basically you have that bridge protruding out. Stop cut, relief cut. Kind of do a little ski-doo nose, I guess you could say. Come up, angle that back a little bit, both sides, undercut it some more, shape the tip of it. Your carving, you can do anything you want to it. Like so. Stab cut on the end, point to point, slicing cut in the corner. Remember, a smile line just wraps right around. You can also do that all in one go. Cut up under. Careful of tear out. up under there, recut it to deepen it. Take that hard line off. Do a little half moon cut up under your nostril. You can deepen it some more. Just take practice. So same thing on the other side. You can deepen that bridge just by rolling that blade back up into the eye socket, cutting it in, having a gnarly looking nose like a cowboy would if he riding bulls and broke his nose a lot. You can just play with it. And if you get done on one side, you can go on the other, do the same thing. Have a hat coming down on his nose all the way if you want to. You can have a real small, thin forehead, or you can make a real big, thick forehead. But have that smile line coming down all kind of wonky way, or coming out here and then up and down like that, or making weird kind of expression, or having a big front lip, or whatever. Have his lip coming down. So, but yeah, I just wanted to share this, guys. Hope it's helpful. You just manipulate all kinds of cutting just because practice is what you're supposed to do, I guess. Just have fun, play around with your noses, and the bases of it is, you know, can stem off this and just progress down. As you can see, the different types of noses as you can get, to kind of a pointy broken nose, to a kind of a round stubby kind of Santa Claus nose, to whatever. And just the basics are kind of the same. Just play around with, you know, different positionings of, you know, your smile lines and your nostrils and stuff like that. You know, you can either make small holes or you can make big holes for your nose. It all depends, you know. It's whatever you want. So I hope this was helpful. Hope you guys are doing very well. Thank you for all who like and have subscribed to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. Look for more videos to come your way. And in the meantime, go carve some noses. We will catch you guys on the next video. Y'all take care.